Hey, it's Edward, and we're living in the world of very smart people doing very complicated stuff that makes a great world, a world that allows us to solve a lot of problems, making our lives much simpler and basically allowing all of the problem solving that is necessary for a proper functional of the system to be done by machines, by robots, or in some parts by other people, which we are trying to get away from, which is what the purpose of AI and machines are. However, there is a little problem with that approach. If a person starts focusing too much on doing the actual work, so if they become obsessed with work, which meaning using their brain to solve problems. Our brain, even though it's designed to save us from the situation that makes us feel like we are in danger, and we can fake it by making ourselves believe that, hey, a certain thing that we are doing, let's say a car. So creating a car, that the whole process of creating the car and all of the efforts and struggles that we go through, it makes us, we can make ourselves feel like we are in danger, and this has to be done to save us from something. And the something is, in that situation, absence of necessity to travel long distances without, on foot basically, and exerting a huge amount of physical energy instead of using physical energy in a way that is enjoyable for us, which is exercising. Exercising is voluntary, but traveling long distances is forced. So we have to do it, otherwise, let's say, we don't get food if food is too far away, or we don't get to deliver, let's say, a message to a king in the castle who needs to know that the opponent, the villains from another country, are commencing an attack on our kingdom. So if we are not, so we need to, we can put ourselves in that state of danger. But the problem with that is that theoretically we can remain in the state of danger for extremely extended periods of times. Theoretically we can do it until we start hating everyone and everything, until we get very easily irritated about stuff, or until we achieve something that we want to achieve. And if we remain in this stressful state of always needing to solve the problem, then it's going to turn into, well, an obsession, and we're going to disconnect from our feelings, and then the actions that we do are not going to be aimed at something good. Because when we come to this world as kids, our intentions are kind, purely kind, because why wouldn't it be? We are a part of the environment. We live in the world, in the natural world. There are trees, there are animals, there are germs, there are insects, every kind of organism, and microorganism and macroorganism, etc., etc. And it's all symbiotic. It's all working for the benefit of one another. Even one animal eating another animal, it works for the benefit of one another, because it, well, for example, it prevents overpopulation, which human beings are notorious for. That's a topic for another video. We are intelligent, and hopefully we're going to be able to solve that problem. But in order not to become evil, which is what we become if we work too much, even though we become kind to this world, become natural. Let's forget about good or bad. Let's talk about natural, which is what we are as children, and what we are always. And under stress, which is something that we become when we are trying to solve problems. We have to be able to fight off stress, so we don't become, well, evil. Under stress equals evil. Childhood traumas or any kind of traumas equals evil, because all the efforts and all the energy and all the thoughts are directed at oneself, at how to make a life better for yourself. And that's where the obsession with comfort comes in, but that's a topic for another video. The way we can avoid to feel like we are under stress, like life is unfair, like people around care only about themselves, that we need to fight them, we need to be better, we need to compete, we need to always do something incessantly, almost without resting. And this is especially useful for the people who work together in the office and who are not able to build a very close relationship with one another. So these are not let's say partners in business who can somewhat do that, or not necessarily friends, but just socially very intelligent people, so with whom you don't feel like anything wrong, you can feel the same way as with your friends. So it's especially useful for office environments. The point is that we have to celebrate every single step that we make. Tiny step, big step, it has to be celebrated. Let's say, take a simple example without taking work. We help another person carry bags, or help an old lady cross the street, or we can direct something at ourselves. We come join a party that we were afraid to join because of our own insecurities. We have to celebrate that. And same thing at work. When we solve a problem, we have to celebrate that. When we work a certain period of time, which is 25 to 90 minutes, depending on the kind of strategy that you use to work, and then it's time to have a break. And if we don't have a break, we're gonna putting ourselves into deeper stress, and we're gonna be becoming more evil. We have to take breaks, and during those breaks, that's the time when we have to celebrate. We're talking about this small celebration, but there's also bigger celebration. So the small celebration could be very simple. Let's say you're solving some kind of issue with a client. You're a salesperson. You have to onboard a client. You have to sell an idea of a service or a product to a client. You do that, and after you get an email where the person agrees, or when they send you the money, now it's time to celebrate. You don't wait until the weekend. You don't wait until the end of the month. You don't wait until like a certain date, like your birthday or International Men's Day, or whatever, the day when your company was founded. You celebrate right away. And how do people celebrate? Well, that has to be their emotions. So it is about expressing ourselves, dancing through voice, doing the woo, or any kind of sounds that bring life to our organism. Because if we don't do that, at some point it's gonna feel weird to do that woo, even though it's something that even if you hear the sound, it's the sound that is supposed to attract attention and draw people who are feeling good to one another. Why do you think football players celebrate when they score? And they don't celebrate when they win a championship. They celebrate every time they score. They celebrate when their goalkeeper parries the penalty. They celebrate when a defender plays really well. You have to do the celebration, and it can be done by yourself if you're working at home. So you can just do a little bit of a dance after you are done with a particular problem. You can call your friend. You can share that with them. You can and a good friends and good co-workers, good partners, they're gonna engage with your emotional state, and they're gonna help you to celebrate that together, because celebration never happens alone. You can't celebrate certain things alone, like with getting a little bit happier about certain stuff, or let's say you it's just something, the feeling when you get when you want to say just yes, like you've finally done it. You can do it by yourself, but overall, the more people are engaged in celebration, the more enjoyable and refreshing it is. And if you celebrate often enough, you basically don't need to stop working. You work and you celebrate. You work and you celebrate. And of course, for us people, and I would say especially for men, celebration is also has something to do with the opposite sex, with women. That because for a man, it's no matter how successful a man is with women, it's a moment of success when, and same thing for a woman, when just two hearts come so close to one another that then a person possessing one heart has to engage in a beautiful act of love with another person. This is also a celebration, but this is obviously more private. Something that you can do at work, which is and this is absolutely essential. Like you can't build a healthy, let's say, work culture. You can't build a healthy friendship, so you can't build a healthy anything if you don't celebrate with your people. And this problem is especially big the more disconnected people are from one another. So for example, at work, or people who do business together, they don't celebrate. There is this arrogance that people have, that hey, I won this, there was a competition and I'm better than that. It's a completely wrong mindset, and that's something that we already talked in other videos, that you don't compete, you excel. You do your work very well, and you see people benefiting from that. And this would allow you to celebrate. And everyone wants to celebrate, but people are shy, people have traumas, people have some other mental issues, insecurities, lack of confidence, anxiety, etc., 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 or stress. There's so many factors that make people disconnected from one another, but it is in our power to reconnect. And that's what celebration provides us. And this is like a micro level celebrations. You also have to have bigger presentations, celebrations, more macro level. Every week, as you finish your work week, if it finishes, if it doesn't extend for the next week, or as you finish basically a certain session of working, let's say you've been working for a week or for 2 weeks every day. Well, you celebrate obviously at the end of each day, but you also have to celebrate at the end of the week, at the end of the month, at the end of the year. That's what birthdays are, but birthdays just happen once a year. And of course, there's some other holidays, but you have to create your own holidays. You have to have your own schedule of achieving things, and it's correlated to what to the performance of the company that you work in, if you're working for somebody else, or it could be correlated to the life of your friends, to the life of your loved ones, to the life of your colleagues. Let's say your colleague got promoted, you should celebrate with them. It shouldn't be just like, hey, congratulations, get back to work. Let's get back to work together. That's bullshit. This is, and another person can see that this is fake. People are not sincere enough. And all of that comes from anxiety, from stress, from mental issues, from traumas, and from all of this bullshit. And that's where the problem of niceness comes into play. So like great idea on paper, really bad at execution, at the execution stage. Same thing as communism. And obviously we are overcoming the need to be nice, and by healing our traumas, we actually become kind, but it's a harder thing to do to heal the trauma. So that's why people choose to pretend to be kind by being nice instead of being kind. It's a very complicated thing, and it requires the work of a coach with a person who struggles with that. And if you do struggle with that, feel free to text me in Instagram or Twitter down in the description. We're gonna find out if there is something that you can change in your situation. But overall, celebration is something that can help you to overcome all of that. Obviously, it's just one thing, just one little thing, but it separates a good company from a bad company, good friends from bad friends, good lovers from bad lovers, good husbands and wives from bad ones, that they celebrate, you celebrate together, you support one another sincerely. It's a very complicated thing. You can't just say that, okay, from today on I'm going to be celebrating. It has to come from your heart. You have to change your lifestyle so you don't feel the things that make you insincere. Insincere, yes, that make you seem to another person, like to their subconscious brain. They don't even realize this consciously. It's their subconscious brain that makes them feel that way, that you don't actually mean that. And when somebody pretends to be positive without actually being that, it makes it doesn't bring anything. Okay, these guys are like super loud, so we're gonna have to wait a little bit until they pass, hoping that it's not gonna last for too long. The most important thing is that they are happy. So that's the way you can separate, like identify the environments that are too that is going to be encouraging for you, and the environments that are going to be draining energy off you. Sincerity is the most important thing that we have, but it's impossible to be sincere if we are stressed, if we have anxiety, traumas and issues like that. That's why we have to, all of that has to start from, well, it's a very boring way of saying it, like healing. It sounds like some kind of like religious cult trying to just pray to God and, you know, kiss the thing that people wear here, or do that, or whatever people do, land on the ground and pray to another god, etc. But essentially that's what it is. It's like it's overcoming our problems. It's overcoming something that prevents us to live life fully, to be able to express ourselves. Proper celebration cannot happen if a person is not able to express themselves fully, if they're living in their brain, which is caused again by stress, by anxiety, by all of that bullshit that we are here on this channel trying to overcome, trying to solve, because all of us are good people on the entire world. There's not a single bad person. The only thing that makes us bad is stress, anxiety, insecurities, traumas, etc. And if you feel like you have that, again, feel free to text me on Instagram and Twitter. We're gonna talk with you. We're gonna see if there's anything you can improve in your life. It's a very serious problem, but anyone can overcome that. Anyone, including the person talking to you right now on the phone. I have to record a video about my background, where I come from, but every one of us can do that. That sounded very weird. Every one of us can do that. And it's been Edward. So if you found this message of value, if you feel like you resonate with what you heard here, feel free to subscribe and like the video and share your thoughts in the comments. We're gonna talk in the next video. Stay healthy, stay tuned, stay happy, and celebrate. We have to do it. Take care.